George Malecki here with NESN Patriots beat reporter Zach Cox. It's on to week 2 for the Patriots, coming off that loss against the Eagles. Now the Dolphins come to town. Zach, we saw a quick glimpse at practice, just a player stretching today, but notable absence, Trent Brown not even dressed and not in the bubble at all as it was raining when we went. But Devontae Parker back, how does that impact this offense leading up to taking on a Vic Fangio-led defense?
Devontae Parker back, Cole Strange, Mike Owenu, they were all at practice today, 3 guys who did not play against the Eagles. But Trent Brown, as we're recording this, we do not know exactly why he was not at practice, but that's a significant loss for a Patriots O-line that has really just been crushed by injuries since the start of training camp. I thought that unit performed better than expected against the Eagles, but better than expected and good are 2 very different things. They were starting 2 rookies at both of the guard spots. I thought Calvin Anderson, who was starting on the right side, had some issues after missing all of training camp. Now if you throw a Trent Brown injury into that, you're going to have some real issues against a defense in Miami that didn't play especially well in week 1, but Vic Fangio is one of the most respected defensive minds in the NFL. You know he's going to be able to be somebody who can exploit some of those weaknesses.
Yeah, and that was an offensive line that Mac Jones threw the ball 50-plus times, wasn't sacked until the final 3 minutes of the game. And like you mentioned, 2 rookies up front, Calvin Anderson on the right side, definitely held their own. But Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, a good front 7 coming to town. Now, when we look at this Miami Dolphins matchup, all the talk is on the offensive line. That's what we're paying attention to. But Tyreek Hill, that's a guy that went off 11 catches, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown is really good. Tyreek Hill is top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. Another tough matchup for Christian Gonzalez in that secondary.
Tyreek Hill is top 3. Jalen Waddle is top, 10, 12 maybe? You can make the case that they basically have 2 number 1 wide receivers on this Dolphins team. And if you have Tua Tagovailoa playing the way he did for a good amount of that week 1 game against the Chargers, that's going to be a very difficult offense to stop. There's going to be a lot of pressure in this game on Christian Gonzalez, who went wire to wire against the Eagles in his NFL debut, played every defensive snap. Thought he played pretty well overall. Certainly wasn't a perfect performance, but limited big plays, and that's something that you're really going to need to do against a team like Miami. You can't let a Tyreek Hill slant across the middle turn into a 60-yard touchdown, but you also can't let Tyreek Hill just run straight past you for a 60-yard touchdown. So it's kind of a pick-your-poison thing. It's a very difficult offense to corral and control, but I go back to I was speaking with Jabril Peppers after this Patriots last game, asking him about Christian Gonzalez. He said he played great. This is the way we're going to need him to play moving forward, and that's certainly true this week, especially with no Jack Jones on the other side.
Yeah, Jack Jones will still miss the first 4 weeks minimum as he's on the IR with a hamstring injury. And this game, it was important. It's a division game. It's the Dolphins coming to town, a contender not just in the division, but in the AFC as a whole. But with Aaron Rodgers now done for the year, the Jets are back to what they were last season. Top 3 defense, great receiver in Garrett Wilson, Zach Wilson under center for now. What does that injury to Aaron Rodgers mean for this AFC East run as a whole? And as we just saw, Josh Allen still with a turnover bug going on right now.
Yeah, it's massive. I think right now, at this very early stage, you've got to peg the Dolphins as the favorite in this division. I didn't really like what I saw from the Buffalo Bills in that Monday night game, especially Josh Allen. He had some dumb turnovers, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. They've got some talent on that team, but they also have some real questions both up front and defensively. The Jets, I thought I was a little skeptical of them as Super Bowl contenders, even with Aaron Rodgers, given the way he's played last season. But without him, you put it properly there. They're the exact same team as they were last year. Yes, they have Breece Hall this year, who was hurt last year. That helps, but very good defense, very good skill players.
Quarterback league.
It's a quarterback league, and you can't have the worst quarterback in the NFL and expect to win many games. I do think they'll win some games. I think they'll be right on that probably playoff fringe. The talent around Zach Wilson is good enough, but I don't know. Robert Saleh says that he's going to roll with Zach Wilson. He's their number 1 guy, said there's no quarterback competition. I wouldn't be surprised if that lasts 3 or 4 weeks and the Jets say, man, if we want to compete, we've got to go out and get somebody else.
Zach Wilson was thrown into a tough spot. 4 snaps in, you're expected to be the backup all season long. You get thrown in. But it's the same. The ball is snapped. He doesn't know what to do with it. He becomes overwhelmed, runs backwards. I agree with you. To me, it speaks to the frustration I continue to feel with the roster construction, because this is a Patriots team that's really good, but they're so far behind their division. You see the volatility of it. One quarterback goes down, you can win it. The Jets will be a 7-win team, but I don't know if the Patriots can sneak into the playoffs still because of how they're set up now, thanks to Bill Belichick and his drafting.
It changes a little bit, I think, but I think the Patriots have enough talent, both on the roster and on the coaching staff, to be a playoff team. I think the Rodgers injury helps that, but even without Rodgers, I expect this division, unless Miami just goes gangbusters and Tua stays healthy and they play the way that they did last week offensively and kind of run away with things, I still think you're going to see a situation where every team in the AFC East is within a game or 2 or 3 of each other right at the very end. I think any team left in this division or any of these 4 teams can still make the playoffs. I would put the Jets down at the bottom now without Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, they came 2 wins shy of the playoffs last year, and that was with Zach Wilson and Mike White for most of the season, or for all of the season, rather. I still think it's going to be competitive, but I think the Rodgers injury certainly boosts the Patriots' chances, which I already thought were reasonably high. I said at the beginning of the season, I think this is a 10-win playoff team. I'm sticking by that prediction.
All right, I like that, Zach. I'm a little more conservative on that one. I'm thinking the Patriots be competitive. We'll see how many wins they get. All right, for all full Patriots coverage all week long, make sure to keep it locked in right here at NESN.com, NESN360, and NESN YouTube for Zach Cox and George Balecki. That's all from Gillette Stadium.
PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier.